Happy St. Patrick's Day 2023. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, one of my most embarrassing stories that I've told maybe a couple of friends a long time ago. But this story isn't so happy. I was probably 20 something. I don't even remember. It was over 10 years ago. Um, I was on the toilet. I had pain in my taint gooch area. If you know where that is, it's behind the sack. And I was kind of concerned. I'm like, what is that? Is that a hernia? Oh, I hope I don't have a hernia. I'm like, I hope there isn't a little hole there and I'm pushing whatever goes through hernia holes. I don't know how it works. All I know is the hernia is like you get a little hole somewhere and like stuff like I don't know what happens, but so I'm like, okay, I was scared to have a hernia, so I'm gonna get a doctor's appointment. So I got a doctor's appointment at the local doctor where I lived at the time. And I go into the doctor's office and I sit down and I wait. And I'm reading the various magazines that they have there, waiting for my name to be called up. The Tone Gamer, your appointment's ready? Of course, they didn't say the Tone Gamer. But so I get up, I go into the doctor's office where they have that cool bed with like that wax paper thing that you sit on at the end of the bed. It's like a wax paper, some weird paper thing on the bed, hospital bed. Well, not a hospital bed, but a doctor's office bed. And in hindsight, if I knew what was gonna happen, I would have never made this appointment. So I'm sitting there with my feet dangling off the table, like I'm 5 years old. This doctor walks in. He's an Asian man, probably 40 years old. I'm like, oh, he's an Asian doctor. He's probably good. He's probably a good doctor. He knows what he's doing. I'm like, hey, I think I have a hernia. I don't know. And he's like, okay, okay. Stand up for me. Take your pants and underwear down below your knees. I'm like, whoa. Did you say and underwear? I was like, what, and my underwear? And he's like, yeah, pull your pants and underwear down below your knees and lay on your back. I'm like, okay. So I did. So my pants and underwear are below my knees, and I lay on my back with my junk out. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Is this how the procedure is? Is this how they check for a hernia? I'm not a doctor, obviously. Maybe if somebody watching knows the hernia checking procedure. He's like, okay, now bring your knees up to your chest. I'm like, what? My pants and underwear are below my knees. And he wants me to now, I'm on my back and he wants me to bring my knees up to my chest. So I do that. And I look like a damn baby getting his ass wiped after he took a shit in a diaper. So I'm sitting there like, and then puts a glove on, and with two fingers in the glove, he starts poking at my taint with my butthole and nuts exposed. He can look at everything. He's got a first person view, like Call of Duty, aiming down the sights, poking at my taint. And then he told me to push. I'm like, what? Push? So I'm like, he's a doctor. I guess he knows what he's doing, and he's done this before. So I push like I'm farting or something, taking a shit. So I push a couple times, and he's poking around my taint for like 2 minutes. He's like, okay, push. Poking at my taint. He's got a front view of everything, all the hair and whatever's there. And then after a little while, he's like, okay, you can. And then he lets me get up. I pull up my underwear and pants really fast. I'm like, okay, this is embarrassing as hell. And he's like, I think you're okay. You don't have a hernia. He's like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. And then I guess, I don't even remember what he said, but I didn't care what he said. I just wanted to get the hell out of there at that point. So I went home feeling a little defeated, a little humiliated, a lot embarrassed. And I got home and I'm like, wow. So it was just some weird random pain I had. And I was worried it was a hernia and it wasn't. And so I didn't have to go to the doctor's office at all. So I went to the doctor's, got my taint pushed in by an Asian doctor, and to only find out that I didn't even have a hernia. So I was like, well, that was just a waste of time and money. What am I going to do now? So I got drunk with my friends and I told the story and they all laughed. And they thought it was funny. I mean, it's kind of funny now because it was so long ago. But, like, if that not camera, if that doctor had a GoPro webcam on his head, like, as to see what he's seen, like, what, he's like, oh, I'm just changing your diaper. That's what it felt like. I felt like he might as well have just changed my diaper. It was so embarrassing, and that's basically the story, so I'm going to try and think of other stories, but that's definitely the most embarrassing story of my life. So thanks for watching if you did, and peace.